Hello, Mr. Zia.
Great to be with you, Marnie, and we're in heavy lockdown in Sydney, so hence you've got me at home.
Yes, well, I'm at home as well, in the same situation as you. You've been in a bit longer than me, though.
No, but thank you. We'll get through it together, and I hope you don't mind our assistant joining us for the Skype discussion. Skype. I'm so 90s, the Zoom discussion.
Not at all. I mean, looks like quite a nice feline, really.
Thank you.
So, Ed, we're going to have a discussion today about some of the things we're experiencing on LinkedIn that aren't thrilling us.
Yeah, and it's funny. And it does create a lot of frustration on LinkedIn. And as you know, I love LinkedIn, but yeah, I think you get two big problems that we're talking about off camera. Of course, you've got too much spam. You've got a little bit of scamming, which I think LinkedIn does a great job with. But of course, I think spamming is the big problem that we're all talking about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I thought we'd have a bit of fun today, Ed, and I thought we'd do like a little bit of role playing and maybe just have a little discussion about, some of the things that we've come across that really should not be happening. What do you reckon?
Yeah. And in all fairness, I've probably years ago, I've been guilty of some things that are a little bit spammy here and there.
Yeah.
And I repent and say sorry for that.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
I do invite anyone watching to consider repenting your wicked ways and following the path of true LinkedIn and spirituality.
Absolutely. And, exactly right. I mean, when neither of us are perfect. We've all done things in our past that we've learned from. And that's why we're here, isn't it? To pass that knowledge and that information on to try and help other people have a better experience.
Exactly. I'm all yours, Marnie.
All right. Okay. You ready? Okay. All right. So respond as you will, Ed. All right. Spam. Spam, 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 spam. Oh, he looks like a nice guy. Spam. Oh, hello. Spam, 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 spam.
Delete and block, delete and block, delete and block. I can't hit that delete and block or that refuse connection button quicker.
Okay, right. Let me try a different approach. You ready? Okay. Hi, Ed.
Hello there. How are you?
Great. Buy my stuff.
Delete and block. It's funny. You know what I hate the most, actually? I hate it when people say, hello there, and you go, hey, and they go, how are you? Great. Where are you from? That one, that's sounding more Instagram and Facebook, mind you, but that drives me insane as well.
Absolutely. It's like, just get on with it, will you? Just seriously, just cut to the chase, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and we were saying this before when we were talking off camera, the thing that really frustrates me, and I know you've had trouble with this too, and to me, this is the big problem because in all defense of spamming, at least they're being upfront with you, and I got to commend them on that. Mm-hmm. It's more, and this happened to me a lot beyond LinkedIn. This happened to me a lot when I used to be quite a face-to-face networker, pre-virus, of course, when people pretend to buy your stuff, but they're using it just as an opportunity to talk to you to sell their stuff. What do you think of that, Marnie?
Yeah, that's pretty stink. And another one I love the ones that come to you, perhaps you're trying to build a relationship with them and do it the right way. And then they come to you and they say, I would love to get to know you better. And I know you'd love to get to know me better. So if you buy my book, then you'll get to know me really well. And then maybe you can actually offer me some solutions on how I can help, how I can improve.
Yeah, that's a bit of a power play, isn't it? That's a bit of a manipulative power play when you think about it. That's a real dominating sort of thing to do, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like, I'm not going to let you in unless you actually purchase something from me.
That's actually messed with my head because it's the antithesis of how I think. What Edwards is thinking, which obviously works, is become friends with people and get to know them, then do business naturally. And that's
exactly it.
That manipulative power play. Actually, I had someone do that to me, not for a while, maybe about a year ago. Mm-hmm. And I think I just removed it as a connection. It seems like most of my problems in life are solved by the remove connection button.
Yeah, I think that button plays a big part. Do you know, Ed, I had one the other week. It was actually a really interesting story. It was a lady who had actually spoken to me a few years ago. Yeah. On a pretense, on that thing where she wanted to get to know me better.
Yeah.
And so I got on a call with this woman, and her sole purpose was to sell me into a magazine. And that went in here. Like, once you're dishonest, once you are not truthful, that sort of like sits in people's minds. And then lo and behold, like 3 weeks ago, she reached out to me again. Just wanted to get to know me and see if I'd get on a call. And I just called her. On the stuff. I said, do you remember a couple of years ago when you did that and all you were trying to do was sell me into your magazine? Yeah. I said, not what I want, thanks. I said, I want genuine, honest relationships. And she tore strips off me, calling me all the names under the sun and telling me, what a terrible, mirror I was and rah, rah, rah. And I just went, look. It's it's like,
It's interesting because, it's funny you bring that all up because beyond LinkedIn, I'm actually remembering back to when I was more of a face-to-face business networker. I used to go to 3 networking events a week, that sort of thing, before I took off on LinkedIn. And thank you, LinkedIn, by the way. And I remember this happened a lot, but I'm sort of thinking of one experience in particular where I had a person who said to me, basically, hey, Ed, I'm interested in working with you, but in order to do that, I need you to come into our office and do a few tests. And I'm like, okay, what are you talking about, right? And basically they said is, well, if you become, basically I squeezed out of them over the phone before I wasted my time. If you become a client of ours first, we may consider becoming a client of yours. And I just ignored the person. This is before delete and block was more of a thing. And I remember that it's just crazy what these people are doing because you're not only being annoying and being a bad person, but if you upset one person, if you turn one person into an enemy, how many other people do they tell?
That's exactly right. And I mean, that goes across the board, in anything that you do. I mean, in your business, people you only get 7 seconds to make a connection with somebody, basically. And if you approach that the wrong way, it's done. You're finished. Just like that lady I was just talking about. There's no way in hell I would do business with her ever.
Yeah. No, fascinating. And you get this. It's funny actually. Since I've really taken off, I don't get this as much as I used to. But I understand there's still. By the way, you're kicking butt and you're getting there. But I still understand they're still hammering you quite a bit. Is that a fair remark, Marnie?
Yeah, probably. I probably get about 2 or 3 a day, and it just gets to the point where it's like, oh my goodness, now what? What's next? I mean, like a classic example, of people who do not even bother to check me out at all to see who I am and what I do. And I had somebody come and offer me relationship coaching the other day.
Okay, all right.
And I've been married for 21 years.
And I've met you I've only met your family and your husband once, but you guys are doing pretty well from what I can tell.
We're tight. We are a tight-knit family.
I can tell.
Yeah, and it's like that. And nothing will break us down. But this guy was insistent on getting me on a call to see if we had a synergy and whether he could help me with my relationship. It's like, who are you?
Oh, I had one that you just made me think of it then. This is over Facebook, right? So I've had about 10 people a day friend me on Facebook, right? And only maybe 1 out of 10 is actually a genuine connection. And for that 1 out of 10, I commend them, right, on Facebook. I'm not that I'm much of a Facebook guy. This is my Facebook personal account I'm talking. And one of them, I friended them. They added me and we connected ages ago. We never spoke. And this person sent me this weird message out of nowhere. I haven't spoken to this person at least 6 months. What is the handbrake that's holding you back on your business? So put yourself in my position. You don't really know this person. You connect them on Facebook and they send you a message saying, what's your handbrake holding you back in your business? You don't even know them. How would you react to that, Marnie?
I'd delete and block, actually, Ed.
Now, for some... please, you go.
They don't know me. They haven't done their research. It's a copy and paste message. They're just trying to get you into a conversation. They're probably doing it a little bit more in the correct way than the other people we've talked about, but they don't do their research. For well, they're just basically going, next, waiting for someone to go, oh, well, actually, I'm struggling with.
Yeah. And it's funny, and I don't know why I replied. I should have just deleted and blocked. Don't ask me why I didn't. Now I would, but for some reason
we do sometimes, don't we? It's like when we sit there afterwards going, "Why did I do that?"
Yeah. So Edward's your facepalm moment. So not completely. I was already woke to what they were doing. So what I then replied to the person was saying, "No, things are great. I'm just winning on all fronts." So I replied in such a way that gave them nowhere to go. And have a guess at what they said next, Marnie.
Let me see. They came back and they said something along the lines of, well, I'm sure not everything's perfect in your life, Ed.
Marnie,
Yes.
you are an omniscient psychic. That's exactly what they said.
Because that's what you get. I mean, like, even the one, like, we had an experience recently where I was approached the wrong way by someone, and I went and offered them some advice on the right way. And I've actually got two experiences here, totally opposite things. Yeah. One person jumped on a call with me and was really open and receptive of the feedback that I offered him, because his situation was he'd been in sales for so many years, but the sales had always come to him. Yeah. Now he found himself in a different environment where he had to go out and find them, but he wasn't approaching people the right way. And, he took on board what I said, and he made some adjustments. Great guy, him.
Great man. A great man who was teachable. Great man.
Absolutely. And he's on his way. He's got his new system sorted out and he's fine. And then I got another experience like a few days ago with this guy from somewhere else in the world, I'm not quite sure where exactly, who wanted to get me on a call. And I sort of questioned as to why that was, because we know what goes on, right?
Yeah.
And his attitude was, oh, well, let's just see, if there's any synergy or whether we could actually work together. It's like, I checked out what he does and it was nowhere near anything that I would dream of doing. Yeah. And it was clear that he hadn't bothered to do his research. But what was worse is when I pointed that out to him, he argued with me.
Really? How did he argue with you?
Just all of a sudden, what was it? It was something along the lines of I said, look, you've got to respect people's time. I said, have you honestly even looked at my profile to see if I would be a match to you or whether I'm even in your target market? I said, because, people, have got a lot going on. They don't have time to waste on a call that's clearly not A, what they want, or B, where they want to go. And he came back with some comment about, it's pretty sad if you're only contacting people for business. And it's like, well, this is a business site, mate.
Yeah. I think it comes back to what we both do really well. I think it comes back to, and this is the way I've always seen it. It's always friendship before business. And totally. I learned that I used to be quite involved in the Sydney business chamber scene. Mm-hmm. And you learn very quickly that it's friendship before business. It's all you make friends of someone, much like we did. You make friends of someone and you buy them, they buy you. Business comes as a consequence.
It does, and I mean, since I got that concept, I've actually found going to networking events 10 times easier. Because, one of the things I really disliked about going to networking events is everyone's walking around like deer in headlights. You know what I mean? It's like, and everyone's sort of on edge because they think that they have to sell and they have to they have to slip that business card into their same thing's happening on LinkedIn, by the way, which is interesting. But I mean, if you go in with the attitude of just going in to just make friends, not for any other purpose, but to have friendships with like-minded people, it's amazing how that changes. Now, one thing I will say is some people misconstrue that. You get a lot of these multi-level marketing people, for example, who make friends with you thinking that's the way to get your business, but then if you don't turn out to be the superstar they want, they dump you.
Yeah, they drop you. They drop you. Yeah. And that's, to me, is not getting it, because at the end of the day, they're not making. I mean, you have good multi-level marketers and bad level multi-level marketers. To me, the good multi-level marketers are the people that really. They're just like us. They just make friends, and whatever happens. The bad ones from any industry, I think, are the ones that they pretend to be. It's like high school, isn't it? They pretend to be your friend as long as they're getting something. They drop you like a hot potato otherwise. That's it. And what I love about LinkedIn and it's not LinkedIn's fault. I mean, LinkedIn is doing what they can to police it. But what I love about LinkedIn is they always bring it back to it's a professional networking platform. Yes. You're there to make friends and do business. And I think when you keep that in mind, it solves a lot of problems. And of the people that are teachable and learnable, it's glad to see them come along in that thinking. And I remember, I've done things before which I'm not proud of, and I'm really glad to red pill myself over time.
Yeah. And look, I'm exactly the same. I mean, I've been in business for 23 years. You know, I create masterpieces, but I made some terrible mistakes. Hey,
Yeah.
Liz.
Hello.
Hey, Liz. Hello.
Hello.
You know, I've made some terrible mistakes in my past, but it's what you do with that.
Yeah.
It's what if you can choose to continue making the same mistake. You know, one person actually said to me one time, if you're doing something and it's not working and you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, and it's just madness.
Yeah. I got to say, Marnie, you are killing it. You're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. You know,
Thank
inspiration you are. Well, my cat almost bought me a new PC then. That little bounce. That was the cat.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Look, I mean, like I am passionate about what I do. I do love what I'm doing. I'm loving the new Review Queen. It's a very, very exciting concept that's based on yours, you know. So you've planted the seeds and given me the idea there. We're expecting to cross over 600,000 views hopefully today. So
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's taking off. It's amazing. I'm just a little bit stink this week that I can't race out and get photos, but never mind.
Yeah. Got to respect the lockdown. Crazy times we've got. I'm just glad that you're staying strong and safe, Marnie.
Always, absolutely. It's the only way to be, Ed. Like, life's too short to let little things like this affect you, you know? So parting word, Ed, on what not to do on LinkedIn would be, like, or what to do. Let's go for what to do. Like, you know, what's your thoughts?
Oh, it's just the direct opposite. Just connect with people, make friends, focus on friendship, and then business comes as a natural consequence.
Absolutely, it does. And, you know, I cannot say that enough. I mean, I'm messaging people on LinkedIn every day to build my business, but it's about relationships first. And it's simply just how you choose to do it. Yeah. Like, there's a right and a wrong way, right?
Here. Marnie, love what you're saying.
And love your work, Edward.